Hey everyone, Vincenzo Calla here, and welcome to episode 31 of Let's Discuss Politics. Today, I'm glad to be joined by the MP for Vaughan Woodbridge, Francesco Sorbara. Francesco was first elected in the 2015 election and has been re-elected 2 times since then. An economist by training and a CFA charter holder, Francesco worked in the global financial markets in both Canada and the United States, from JP Morgan, Chase, DBRS, and Bank of Nova Scotia prior to being elected. On the Hill, Francesco currently serves as the president of the Canada-Europe Parliamentary Association. Thank you, Francesco, for joining me today.
You're welcome, Vincenzo. You are very much welcome, Vincenzo. It's great to be here.
Well, it's so great to have you, and let's get this interview started. So our first segment is called Francesco's Story, where we'll talk a bit about Francesco's political history. So first off, when did you first get involved in politics?
I first became involved in politics when I was 14 years old, growing up in northern British Columbia. That is when I first participated in the 1988 election campaign, and that's when the first time I registered as a card-carrying Liberal member at that time.
And so after you've been involved in politics for a while, and what
Yes.
made you decide to run in 2015? Like,
Uh,
why Vaughan Woodbridge? Why 2015? Why?
Of course. I'd always been very interested in public service. I'd always been very interested in becoming a member of parliament. It was always a passion of mine. And with that, after a very long career in financial markets, in the financial markets, working both in New York City and in Toronto, I decided to, you know what, it was time to take the plunge and to enter. So I ran for the nomination in Vaughan Woodbridge for the Liberal Party of Canada under the Team Trudeau banner, and then ever since then we've won 3 elections and stuff. But it's always been something I wanted to do. It was always a passion of mine. I feel very, very blessed that I was able to do it, win or lose, but I was able to do it, and we did win, and it's been a real pleasure to serve and be the member of parliament for the residents of Vaughan Woodbridge.
Let's talk about that now. Let's talk about your serving as an elected official and talking about your community. So, first off, what is your favorite part about serving Vaughan Woodbridge as their MP?
My favorite part is sort of very much understanding the needs of the community, meeting so many different people, meeting so many different people from so many different walks of life, dealing with all the stakeholders. You really meet some fascinating people doing some really, really neat things, not only in Vaughan Woodbridge or across Canada. One of the things about being a parliamentarian is that you get to meet so many different individuals, from the Cattlemen's Association to the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, to ambassadors, and then you get to deal with your constituents on the ground and your constituents at home and dealing with their everyday needs. So just I would say the great thing about being an MP is just the myriad of different things you get to do. It's never the same thing twice. Like, well, it is the same thing twice, but it's such a mix of duties and responsibilities, and you're really an entrepreneur. It's really what you make of it, and it's awesome.
And before I go into the next one, I just wanted to ask you a bit. So I know that you are the president of the Canada-Europe Parliamentary Association. You're involved with
Yes.
with a lot of parliamentary friendship groups. What are all those about? I know a lot of people don't know what those are. So what do you do in those, and what do they mean?
Well, frankly, what they mean is very simple. We have, as a country, we are a country that is involved in a lot of multilateral institutions. We are a country based on the indigenous nation to nation relationship, and we are a country of newcomers. And with that, we have ties to all over the world, and of course, we have ties back to Europe, and with the European countries, both EU and non-EU, we are the basis of involved in many multilateral institutions, and with that, um, it's wonderful to be a representative. In this case, have a role as the chair of the Canada Europe Parliamentary Association, and meet with our European friends and counterparts, discuss the issues of day security, economic policy, military cooperation, people to people tie, trade, investments, the energy transition that's going on, and this is what that role allows me to do. I was in Europe twice this year. in Strasbourg in June and then October. It was wonderful to be there, and it was wonderful to participate in those trips and meet with other countries and have host a number of bilateral visits.
So moving on now, I wanted to ask you, so you've been in Parliament for a while now, it's been over 7 years now since the
Yes.
2015 election. And what has been your favorite achievement in that time in Parliament and just in general?
Um, I think I think more in general, I think the achievements is, I think positioned the country we've positioned the country competitively for our economy, but we've also really strengthened our social network. And I think that's something that we need to be very, very, very thankful for. We need to be very, very thankful for. And I think it's something that we really need to think about. That what we've done with this Canada Child Benefit, lifting hundreds of thousands of people out of poverty, making sure that Canadians have the opportunity, so creating good jobs, creating great jobs for Canadians, and also positioning ourselves for the ongoing transition for in terms of climate change and the transition to a low carbon economy. I think if you look at, there's a number of pieces we've done. Yes, we've helped. I like to call them the bunch. We've helped uh, seniors. We've done a lot of programs. We've helped families, the Canada Child Benefit. We've helped workers, the Canada Workers Income Benefit, and creating the conditions to create jobs. We're helping disabled Canadians. We've improved the disability tax credit, and we're coming out with the Canada Disability Benefit. So social wise, our social network, we got to do stuff on healthcare system. We got to work with the provinces, and then what we need to do is ensure a very strong economy. And those pieces and we're doing that, especially with the transition, energy security, energy affordability. I can go on and on about this one, Vincenzo. It's a great one.
Let's go on to the last segment now, which is called Politics All Around Us, where we'll talk about this world of politics that surrounds us. So first off, who is or who was another politician or politicians that inspire you as an MP and have inspired you in your work?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if there's a particular person. I think, you know, I think Bill Clinton inspired me significantly, to be blunt. His story, the governor of Arkansas, becoming president, and the transformation of the United States. I think at home, I think there have been a number of politicians that have inspired me. Like, a great friend and mentor is Judy's Grow, and she's a great friend and mentor. Obviously people like Paul Martin, what he did for Canada's finances inspired me as a finance person, as a finance guy. Jean Chrétien for his leadership at a very significant period of time. Obviously now under the Prime Minister, what we're doing as a country. Um, it's how do you say? Um, very, very, there's not, to me, like, I can't say, oh, Winston Churchill inspired me or Ronald Reagan. Like, I think there are a number of people that have had an influence on part of this that have inspired me to say, I want to contribute in the manner I can best contribute.
And finally now, looking forward into the next months, weeks, years going forward, what do you think is an issue that needs to be focused on more? I guess both by your government and just in general by all governments and decision makers. What's an issue that needs to be focused on more?
Uh, I think right now we really need to focus on energy security, energy affordability. I think uh, that's for sure a big issue. Food security, food affordability, those are big issues. Domestically, because those are both domestic and international issue. I would say very, very much that we need to look at our Canada's healthcare system. We need to strengthen that. We need to undergo make sure that we are our industrial policy here in Canada is going the right way. We need to do that. We need to do a lot of work. We are doing a lot of work, but there's always more work to do and stuff. Um, and not just what I would say is like there are issues that to me, future prosperity, our standard of living, future economic growth. Those are the issues that I think about. And those are the issues that are important to me and the issues I'll move forward.
That is all for today. Thank you, Francesco, so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, it was so great having you. And if you like this interview, make sure to go check out the other interview with Francesco on Instagram for top 10. If you're watching this interview at the date of the premiere, it's going to be coming out on Friday. So to stay
Okay.
updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at BC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. Let's Discuss Politics is a VCalla production. So until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.